Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so tonight we're going to be building yet another one of those PCs for someone who can't really justify the expense of a graphics card right now, given the current situation. So this PC build's going to be one with onboard graphics. So we're going to be having a look to see how the new Intel onboard graphics stands up against something like a Ryzen 4650G. So that'll be interesting in the benchmarks later on. But without further ado, let's get into it. So we've got the B560, not the B550. I want to make that distinction clear. This is the B560M DS3HAC, so it has onboard Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 5. So that's a handy inclusion there. We've gone with the Intel 11500 i5, so 6 cores, 12 threads. I think its base clock is 2.7 gigahertz, but not that that really matters. Hey Robert, how you going?
Zach says, so I decided to buy myself an Asus ROG 3060, so when we build a new PC it'll be without a GPU.
Yeah, no worries, Zach. Absolutely, just send it my way, or even if you just keep it with you, I don't need the graphics card to build your PC. So anyway, so I've got, like I said, the 11500 here. So this is not the 11400. So this is a more powerful CPU than the 11400. Costs a little bit more, but because we were going with just the onboard, I thought it was going to be worthwhile just to get a slightly stronger CPU there. We've got a air cooler here for the CPU, so we're not going to be using the stock cooler on it. That'll enable it. We can turn all the limits off, and it can run at boost speeds and all that kind of good stuff. So we got a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD. This is a Crucial P1, and there's nothing else around there. But I think we've got some memory down here. So we've got 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz CL16 memory. This is some silicon power modules. I think it's called Gaming Turbine, PowerX Gaming Turbine. It's on special right now for I think $117, so pretty good for a 16 gigabyte kit. I like them both, but obviously right now the Ryzens have the crown of being the superior technology. But we're all waiting to see what Intel will bring with 12th gen. So as soon as 12th gen releases, I can promise you that the day that tech drops, I will have a few CPUs and I'll have a couple of motherboards, and one of them, one motherboard and CPU, I'm going to swap into my main rig. So you'll get to see that, and I'll test it out and do all that kind of good stuff with it. But yeah, like I said, right now, Ryzen's got the superior tech, but if you're after the best price to performance, Intel has your back. So I've got another little fan here. This is an on-the-house fan from us that we're just going to put on the back of this case because it doesn't have a rear exhaust fan. Got a 2 terabyte hard drive here. We've got a 750 watt power supply here, so if we want to add a high powered graphics card at some stage, that's not going to be a problem here at all. And our case here is the Acer Iris 330. So this case comes with 2 included RGB fans on the front, and it also has RGB lighting around all of the front I/O there, which is on the side there, which is I quite like that on the side. But yeah, so let's get into it. So we'll have a look at this motherboard in a bit more detail. So in the box we got a couple of M2 screws, got some SATA cables, got a rear I/O shield, and got some Wi-Fi antennas there as well. And as for our board, this is it. So this is the Gigabyte Ultra Durable B560M DS3H motherboard. So it's a micro ATX board, full size micro ATX board that is. So I'll point out some of the features right now. So starting at the top here, we've got a single fan port here, hidden away with our 8-pin CPU power. So we've got a bit of a heatsink here on our VRM and MOSFET, which is nice. All our co-processors and everything up here. It looks like it's exposed, but we're not going to be doing any major overclocking here, so it's going to be completely fine. We've got a CPU fan header here, so total of 2 so far. We've got dual channel memory here, so channel 1 these 2 slots, channel 2 these 2 slots. Around here we've got a 24-pin ATX power, so this is the main power for the other systems on our motherboard. We've got a sneaky fan header around here, 4 SATA ports in the, what do you call that, the horizontal orientation, and then these ones up here that are vertically raised. Sorry, these really should be called horizontal and they should be called vertical. I think I've done that around the wrong way. Yeah, I realised that halfway through saying it, and I was just like, man, you should get your words right. But we're doing this live, so that's the beauty of it. You get to hear fuck-ups like that. Anyway, we've got a USB Type 3 header here. Down here, this group of pins, this is for our front panel connections. So we've got speakers over here, we've got a couple of spare pins there, and then we've got our 8 main pins for our hard drive LED, power LED, reset switch, and power switch.
Tim Bradley says got to commit to the mess up.
Yeah, I don't mind. I wouldn't do this if I had a problem with messing up my words live, because that's always going to happen. Like that happens to everyone. I see like Jay's 2 cents. He stuffs up all the time and he just laughs about it. You know, you've got another fan header here. So what's that? That's a total of 4 fan headers so far, all in relatively easy access locations. So this little header here, this is for trusted platform module. Won't be using that in a home build, or you might if your organisation requires it. What have we got here? We got 2 USB 2s. Got a 5-volt 5-volt RGB and a 12-volt RGB there. We've got a flash BIOS button, and it looks like we've got filled in holes here for like our COM port header, and there's a Sony Philips digital interface header there as well, but that's not on this board. It's the holes are there, but their header isn't actually attached.
It looks like there's something missing there.
Yeah, so that's what that is down there, and obviously down in the bottom corner here is our front panel audio. So we've got our front panel audio connection, and then all of our audio system is around here. So these insulated gold capacitors are our audio capacitors. There's audio chips here, and there is our rear audio connection devices. So just the standard 3 that you would be familiar with for 20 years. We've got single gigabit Ethernet. We've got 4 USB 3.2s, I think they are. It doesn't say on the rear I/O. I'm going to assume they're 3.2s, including 1 Type C. We've got DisplayPort and HDMI port for our video outs, which we will be using in this build. normally say they won't be in use. And here is our CNVI Wi-Fi module. So you can see that
in front of your face.
Oh, hang on.
I can't do it properly.
Let go.
Get the card, the top. See the card?
No?
The Wi-Fi.
Oh, yep.
Come on.
Go the other way.
No, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work?
You can kind of see it. It's underneath the two USB ports at the top there. You can see the big gold things.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back on track now. So we've got two M2 slots on this motherboard, which is good to see. They're in opposite directions here, which is kind of a little bit peculiar. They usually try to keep them all the same way, but for obvious reasons up around here wasn't ideal for the M2 header. So we've got a single X16 length slot here for our graphics card, and then we've got two X1s down the bottom there. And there's no other sneaky fan header or anything around here. One thing I didn't see was clear CMOS. Oh, there it is. It's right down the bottom there. I missed it. Must have just been covered up by either the chipset or this capacitor when I was looking down. Anyway, that's pretty much this motherboard covered off, so let's get prepping. So start with this memory. If my memory serves me right, I need some scissors for this stuff. Anti-theft packaging. Here are our single-sided DIMMs. So there's nothing on that side, and just on the one side there. Put one in the first channel and one in the second channel.
DIMMs that have stuff on the other side as well?
Yes, you can get dual-sided DIMMs
Oh,
and single-sided DIMMs. So that just depends on the chip configuration, how big each RAM chip that's on the DIMM is. So you could have a 16 gigabyte stick, right? And each little chip could be either this much or that much. And if they were like the smaller one, they'd have to be on two sides. If it was the bigger one, they'd have to be on one side, and there'd be difference in performance and cost based on whatever ones you use. It'd get really, really technical. But essentially, yeah, if you look at it and you see things like dual-sided DIMMs, it's generally a guide to quality. Generally, not always though. Just to be, extra confusing. Alright, so we'll get our M2 drive installed. We'll also get both of these screws screwed into our motherboard. this first one in. It's always annoying when you go to install more M2 drives and then you realise you don't have the screw. Or then you're like, oh, where did I leave that? Where did I leave all the stuff that came with my motherboard? It might still be in the box, but then we're talking one little bag with one little screw in it, so, you know, very easy to forget about that. You can get stuck in an instruction manual or something like that that gets chucked out. Very easy to do. So we'll install it in this top one. It's always the safest option. There we go. So now all we have to do is install our CPU. So we will be installing obviously the CPU, but we won't be installing the cooler. So we'll take out this and I'll put this down in my box of Intel coolers because, you know, sometimes people need them. Alrighty, so this will be the last generation here on this particular socket from Intel. They are going to be moving to the LGA 1700 socket. So it's going to look like this, but it's going to be like a long boy. Yeah. Yes, the CPU. But fun fact about CPUs is on their own, they're very dumb. They don't know what's going on. Without these little coprocessors up here, there's things like an arithmetic logic unit, maths coprocessors, and just everything you can imagine, essentially. And without those core things there to sort of provide parameters for the CPU to work, then the CPU can't really do anything, because fundamentally all that's going on is it's little transistors are turning on and off. That's really what's going on inside a CPU. So when they talk about gigahertz and stuff, that's hertz is times per second, right? So when they say something's running at 4.5 gigahertz, they mean that it's turning on and off 4.5 billion times a second. So that's what that clock speed's referring to. So
How do we fix SSL connector?
need a little bit more details about your setup. Send me a message. Alright. So
I'm curious about this cooler. I haven't seen this.
you haven't seen this one. This is just the small version of the deep cool Ganex cooler.
Oh, okay. Kind of looks like the cooler I used to have on mine, right?
I have used this cooler before. It's not completely new to me. Did one for someone.
Lost many customers to this.
Well, yeah. I'm not good with people's names as it is.
Tim?
Yeah.
Since you have the amount of electrons that can move through gateways.
Yep. Yeah, and that's sort of essentially what the what's going to limit the technology is the yeah, the size of and behavior of electrons that will limit silicon technology. But they're coming up with some pretty crazy workarounds, I guess you could call them. So the next few years will be pretty fun in terms of advances, I dare say. The market's heating up as well, so that's always a good thing. Okay, so we've got our backplate in place. This feels like a pretty robust backplate here. Yeah.
Says hi guys.
Hey Mick, how you going? There we go. So nothing special required there.
Tim, Dad said he did send you a message.
Oh, did he? Okay, sweet. Alright, so here's our cooler. So, we just need the stock Intel blades. And yeah.
Nick says good thanks, didn't see you there, because, yeah, nobody sees me.
She's there.
Usually, if it's night time, I'm always here.
Yeah.
During the day, I work, so.
Alright, so we've got a couple of little screw down feet here. Feet mounted there, and there'll just be a couple little bolts here that we'll need. Oh, that one's upside down. Screw one, and screw number two. Throw it away, it's all good.
No extra thermal paste.
No, so there's pre-applied thermal paste on this one. So no need to apply anything. Thanks for pointing that out before I get, because if not, I'll get someone like who watches this live stream like maybe 3-4 days later, and they'll comment like in real time, or not in real time, but like while the video's playing for them in their real time. They'll be like, "Oh, but you didn't put thermal paste on it," and it's like, dude, this brand has pre-applied compound. I'm completely satisfied with the stock compound unless it's a really high-end PC and the person's doing extreme overclocking. Yeah. Hey Bianca, how you going?
Hope you're enjoying your night.
Jeez. Just chuck it at me.
It just slipped out of my hand there.
No.
No, it's because I'm holding it in an awkward position
Yeah.
because of the cooler. There we go.
I'm kind of scared it's going to go flying.
No.
It's cute there.
Just get that other side in.
I hate those things. You make it look easy.
Huh?
I said you make it look easy. These little metal things that hold the fans into the cooler. I hate those things.
Alright. That's attached enough for me. Rid of this other stuff here. Alright. So we can now turn our attention to the case. So hopefully I can remove these with my thumbs. It's looking like a yes. Oh look, even these back ones nearly got me. Oh, you bastard.
Fuck you too.
Alrighty. So, plenty of room for cable management in this case. We've got some included RGB stuff. Some case hardware. Included RGB controller, which is trash. They go straight in the trash around here. Or the e-waste, I should say. So I've got this 2 terabyte hard drive here, so we're going to go ahead and install that one. Prepping this hard drive tray. There's a little bit of extra work on this case because you've got to get these particular bolts out, and you can put these rubber washers on them, and then you can screw them into the side. There we go. Alright, so we've got our hard drive prepped for this tray. Alright, so got that hard drive secured, so we're going to put this power supply in. Alright, so we've got 2 fans in, and we're going to have 1 fan there out, and we're going to mount the power supply face up, so that fan will also suck air out of the case, and we'll have nice balanced airflow. 2 in, 2 out. So there's no right and wrong way to mount your power supply. Just make sure that your case is compatible with the orientation that you want to mount it in. Because you might have seen a few cases where I've gone to put a power supply in, and then I've realised that, oh hey, hang on, it doesn't work in this case, in that orientation.
On Twitch land 2001 says hi there, no GPU.
No GPU in this one, just because of the prices. This customer just wanted to go with the onboard graphics here with this one, and just, you know, because of the prices, and like, who can blame him? So we've just gone with an 11500 here, which has got the onboard graphics. See how much gaming balls it actually has, like compared to a 4650G, for example. So, all right, let's start this cable management over here. So we don't need this one. We do need this one. We don't need this one. Do need this one. And realistically, other than one strand of solder, we don't actually need any of these cables. That's the plan. Need a thick cable for this, because there's so many cables. We just left one free for our SATA hard drive. As long as I get one of these plugged in there. Yep. So now we just have CPU and motherboard plus our fans. And we do have this fan here that we're going to plug in at the back there. Might put my I/O shield in while we're here. Yep.
And 2001 says, I see you put a 750 watt, so it's ready to straight GPU.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yep, that's the whole idea. Like, I'm building so many rigs right now with like 1650s and stuff like that with 750 or 850 watt power supplies. And the whole idea is just get what you can afford for now and then plan for that upgrade in the future. Because at least if you buy a 1650 right now, at least you're getting less ripped off. You know what I mean?
Prices are ridiculous.
Because everything's like doubled in price, roughly, more or less. The less you spend on a graphics card right now, the less ripped off you get in dollars. So, yeah, I completely understand with people, and if they're in a situation where this is an option, I generally encourage them towards it, because I don't want people to lose their money, waste their money on things, you know.
Necessarily.
Yeah. You can come back for an upgrade and all that. As long as we get the PC built right from the ground up. Yeah.
Oh, it says GPUs are crazy. Right now, I was looking at 3090 and they want almost 4K for it.
Yeah, $4,000 for a 3090. I had a guy messaging me just recently. He wanted like two 3090s and all this stuff, and I'm just like, I didn't even start his quote because I didn't feel he was like serious, and
No.
and then he ended
Came
up
back
saying
with some excuse
his
that
wife,
missus is pregnant.
yeah, his missus is pregnant now or something. So it's like, but I don't know.
I think he
If
might
you
have
saw
just
his
been dreaming.
if you saw his specs, you would just be like, It looks like someone's gone, what's the craziest PC I can build?
Well, I got you to estimate it early, and you said close to 20 grand.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous price for a PC. But, yeah.
Well, it's kind of two PCs.
Really?
Kinda.
Kinda?
There's a desk with two motherboards.
Huh?
It's a desk built into a PC, but it has two motherboards in it.
Oh, far out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, and it made me think that he wasn't serious,
Yeah.
which made me delay on doing his quote, and then he ended up coming back and saying, "Oh, my missus is pregnant, don't want it anymore." It's like, am I psychic? Should I get myself tested? Okay. Let's lay this down so I can get this motherboard in the case. Oh, we will have a couple of offsets to adjust here.
Tim,
Yeah.
2001 today, the GPU prices are crazy. Hope the prices go down with LHR.
Hope prices go down with
LHR.
LHR, limited hash rate. That's what he's talking about. So for the Bitcoin mining, cryptocurrency mining, I should say. Yeah. So you've heard about the cards that have, like, they're not going to be as useful for cryptocurrency mining that Nvidia are talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the LHR as such.
Oh,
So
okay.
limited hash rate.
They just ruin it for us gamers.
I think it's all a bit of a joke that, that Nvidia and all them haven't sorted out the supply. I don't buy that these market conditions are naturally occurring for too much longer. Seriously? I've lost my correct gauge for the offsets, my piece for it.
I did see some pieces on the floor under the desk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's just the one that you need. This is a bit like needle in a haystack here. So
pieces with a screwdriver on the floor, aren't it?
Yeah, but that won't be the piece that I'm looking for. Alright, alright, do I have one of those? One of those pieces. No. Yeah.
And 2001, so only mine is paid double prices for GPU.
Yeah. I'm not holding any graphics card stock at the moment. The boxes you see behind me are lies.
Sometimes there's a sneaky one.
Yeah, sometimes. Actually, no. I do have some graphics cards. I shouldn't completely lie. I've got 3060s. But I didn't pay $1,400 for them, like some places are selling.
So if you want a 3060 at the moment, come to Tim.
Yeah, I can do you a good price on 3060 builds. Because I got 3060s that are, you know, closer to 1,000. Put it that way.
Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was looking at getting a 3080 Ti to go with the 5900X I got from my collectors for eBay for an upgrade. He does heaps of rendering gaming. I wanted a 3090, but that's another 1K on top of the 3080 Ti. I'm looking at, what are your thoughts on 3080 Ti rendering?
For rendering, for what rendering are you doing with it?
He does rendering and gaming.
Like, but what sort of rendering? Are we talking rendering on the GPU or rendering on the CPU? Because, like, depending what you're rendering, you might not need a 3080. Seriously, where? I don't know. I don't understand how I lose that piece, because it's one piece that I really make a point of not losing. Is it under here? There's an old CPU.
That's all that was under them. Seriously, not under all this shit
No.
you've got going on over here?
No. Alright. Well, they are relative.
Improvise.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm doing.
Improv.
This is really undignified. So I think I've always spoken about these bolts and saying you really need the right tool for this, or it's a real pain in the ass. Yeah, well, you're getting to watch me do it the pain in the ass way. sweet, that went in further by hand. Right, it's closer to the side.
Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know he uses a few different programs. Blender is one of them, and he sets it running off both GPU and CPU, so you can render and game at the same time.
Yeah, yep. No, well, in his case, then, yeah, definitely using Blender.
So what would you recommend? 3080 Ti or 3090?
Oh, 3090 is going to be better. Oh, serious? Got a third one not in place. Yay. I really need to find that piece. I screwed that like all the way down with my hands. There we go. Should be tight enough. That's looking pretty good. Okay, there's a fourth bolt that's not down. Oh, is that what I think it is? Yes!
Oh, no way.
Found a tool.
Yay!
It's not the tool? It's not the tool.
Oh. It will do.
Yep. It's one that'll turn a Phillips head screwdriver into the piece that I need.
Yep.
And long distance there. Now that I've found it,
Tim? Stupid cat.
yeah.
Robert says, Tim, we'll have to clean this computer. I'm a bit worried about dust that could clog up those fans, causing components to overheat.
No, you won't have to worry about it. Just give it a 3 to 6 month blowout with a leaf blower or a bit of if you've got an air compressor or something like that.
Tim does that all the time with a leaf blower.
Leaf blower's good. You don't want a vacuum cleaner.
Maybe a vacuum cleaner that, blows as well.
Yeah,
So
you want one.
it's
You want one
used
that you want one that blows,
function.
basically. Because if you just get one that sucks, what? Did he just break that?
No. Thing.
It broke.
Yeah, it broke. Stupid cat.
So yeah, that's what I would do for dust, but you only have to worry about that. Yeah, like I said, 3 to 6 months, or as you notice dust. But I install software that you can use to keep an eye on things like temperatures and loads and all that kind of stuff. That's twice. Don't.
Shit.
Don't we have more of those hooks? Babe? Don't we have more of those hooks?
Yeah, but I don't know if those ones will be like strong enough to hold this. They're just for like, you know, really light frames. This is made out of ceramic.
Oh.
Here.
Yeah. Sweet as. Well, that was a little bit more of an ordeal than I thought, but we got there in the end. So, what have we got here? We've got... Okay, so we've got USB 3 up here. So we'll try and conceal that with our power cable there. We've got 5-volt RGB, front panel audio. So we should be able to get our front panel audio. Should be able to slide that down the back. Yeah, we can just plug this in discreetly. Oh. Yeah. I have £1,000 for 30.
1,100
£1,100 for a 3070.
1,600 for 3080, 3,000 for 3090.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same kind of prices in Australia. Just adjust the currency and it's the same deal over here. Because it's likely it's coming from the same, like, global distributor or something, or regional distributor. Or if it's not the same, it'll be another company motivated by the same kinds of conditions. Okay, so we've got our USB 2 and we've got our front panel audio hooked up there. So we've got our front panel connections. So these ones we can just slide these ones. Oh, they stay straight. We can just slide these ones down here. And what have we got? We have HD LED, which is the bottom two here. We have reset switch, which is here. You can also put your reset switch on your clear CMOS header if you're a bit of an overclocker, and then your reset button will be your clear CMOS button. And that will just sit in like that. Very good. So I've got a fan to plug in here. So I'll probably just feed it back through here. I do kind of hate having to plug in go, that looks right. And we've got our CPU power next. Another one of my favourites. That wasn't too bad. And we've got a couple more fans around the front here. So we've got our RGB already daisy chained up here, but I can only see one fan header. Let's just remove that. Just feed that through there. Okay, so two fan headers. Where will we plug these in? Well, we've really only got two other options here, so one we're going to have to plug in up here. Seal that with the power cable, and then we've got another one this one's going to have to go down the bottom here. And it could be with all those ones there. Kept all that together. Alrighty, so now we just have our RGB to plug in. So, do I have an extension cable here? I don't think I do. That's a damn shame. Oh. I think I've got one. Oh yeah. Okay, so I don't need this other cable that's coming out of it, so I'm just going to cut that one off. And this goes from male to female. So what we can do with this is we can send it down here. Yeah.
And 2000, this is YM8TX save money.
Yeah, that was just with the budget for this build from this customer. If you don't need the PCI Express slots, then don't pay the extra. Alright. Let's get that 5-volt. Extension cable there.
I like the look of this motherboard. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
For a cheap one, it's nice.
For a budget board, yeah. And I mean, we can make a micro ATX build look good.
Yeah, especially with this one, it has like no cables. Pretty much. Don't have graphics card taking up some space and stuff.
Alright. And our last two.
When are they going to make those USB connections easier?
What,
Well,
the
you don't-
USB 3s?
Yeah.
Well, we're going away from them completely.
Yeah, true.
But unfortunately, they will stick around for a while.
I don't like how the pins are so like delicate. Time with line like boards. It's really easy to mush those pins.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Tim, you suck.
What?
Dominic says, "Hey mate, I sent you a message a week ago or so, and I still haven't heard back. Just wondering if."
Oh, dude, if I don't write back, just hit me up with another one because your message just gets buried. Buried. It's not. I'm not ducking you. I'm certainly not ducking anyone. If I don't talk to you, then I don't get paid. So believe me, I want to do that.
How have you been?
Yeah, good man, good. we'll see how good we're going when we turn on this PC.
Tim,
Yeah.
this is shared to a couple of Facebook pages. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate everyone's support. It's great. Like I wouldn't be able to keep doing
Here
this.
without you guys.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I need to engrave which one of these is which.
All the USBs I found, I put in that little container.
Oh, we'll be using these ones. One's the USB I used to flash a BIOS, and the other one is Windows. And then we plug our HDMI into the back of the motherboard. What's going on? Feels weird doing that. Alright. So what do you reckon? You reckon everything's toasty? I saw a spark of life. You can press it.
Yay! Sound like a little kid. Fans are spinning. There's no RGB.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, there is.
sneaky.
Alright.
Tim needs to buy me a better tripod and zoomy thing.
Alright. Let's get us an operating system.
Tim,
Yeah.
John wants to know what games could this PC run.
Well, we're going to find out. I haven't personally tested the onboard graphics of the Intel 11th Gen CPUs. So, yeah, this is new for me too. I've tested Intel 11th Gen, but I haven't tested the onboard graphics on the Intel
Why
11th
is
Gen.
it yellow?
Because that's Gigabyte's default color. It's not orange for Aorus.
RGB just can't do yellow properly though. It's like kind of green, but it's orange at the same time.
Yeah, I know. And that reminds me of our final thing that we do, which is we'll plug in the solder cable. Run that around the back. Because once we click next here, now we can plug in our hard drive. And the reason why we do that is because Windows by default will consider the first SATA device as drive 0, and it will put boot manager on drive 0. So you don't want to have a situation where you go and set up your new computer, and then 2 years down the track you decide, oh, I'm getting rid of that shitty hard drive, I'm putting in a big SSD. And then you go and do that, and then you go and turn your computer on, and then it won't boot Windows anymore. and then you'll be like, oh shit, and if you're not sure what's going on, you might even reinstall your operating system based on that. But mind you, reinstalling your operating system is not a bad way to go. Already answered that. I might tidy up the rest of these cables while we're waiting. Yeah.
Yep, put the operating system on the SSD. On the SSD, please, not the 2 terabyte hard drive.
No. And what I was saying is that people make this mistake all the time. You'll go and specify and you'll tell Windows to install the operating system on the SSD. But if you've got a hard drive connected and it's in drive 0 position, Windows will by default, based on the code, it will install Boot Manager on drive 0 regardless of what drive you specify to install the operating system on. That's why you do it like how I did, plugging it in afterwards, because it's not all the same. Like I said, you don't want to end up with a situation where Boot Manager's on your hard drive, you remove your hard drive, and then your system won't boot anymore. What's up? Okay.
Like, fuck, where'd I put the screws?
Yeah, they've fallen off the ground.
Where? Oh, let's see what
Once we get one in, that's it. We're safe.
I don't know where the other ones are. Can't see them.
No, they're all here. Oh, we're at the next stage. Australia. I don't have internet, I'm a peasant. Now you can have internet. I'm just kidding. I'm not a peasant. Alright, so we're missing one bolt, but I'm sure we'll get there.
We'll find it.
Yep. Okay, so now we're in Windows, we have an internet connection. We can go ahead and get our updates. Yes, whatever. Alrighty. So we are going to get the latest version of BIOS, and we're going to get the latest version of App Center. If it ever wants to do it. There we go. Okay, so we will extract that one, and we will extract that one. And so this is the software that comes with your motherboard that would be on the CD that would be included with your motherboard. And so obviously we don't have a optical drive in this particular setup, so I just get everything from Windows Update and Gigabyte App Center, which has a driver and utility update tool in it. So that makes it a lot easier than downloading 10 million different things. And I always do a BIOS update when I have the board, just saves problems down the track. Alright, so now I need my SSD. There we go. Down some custom desktop icons to keep our desktop organized. You don't have to use these, I just put them down on everyone's PC. Cronus True Image WD edition, because we have a Western Digital hard drive installed. We get Chrome, and we'll get some basic software here. I think I just stopped installing the CPU-Z for some reason. Okay, so we won't need GeForce Experience because we don't have any NVIDIA card here. We won't be required, or we will put the gaming apps on, or at least put Steam on. I'll put Epic Installer on. I'll open up Fortnite. Okay. Office 365 on there. Got a crucial SSD, so we'll put storage exec on. VLC on. It's just a utility everyone should have. XTU for sure. I'll put our benchmark apps on there as well. Why not? Have a quick look at that.
want me to leave it out of the fridge for a little bit more longer while it's still warm, or put it in the fridge?
Alrighty.
Fridge, yeah.
Just wait for this one. Alright, so we're going to enable momentum caching on our drive. Alright, let's just enable our XMP profile in here. Everything's looking all good in here. Alright, let's fix that time up. Okay, so let's see how we're running. So first let's check our boot drive, make sure that's running nice and fast. good speeds on our SSD there. What else do we do while we're here? Here we go, is our Rocket Lake 11500, 6 cores, 12 threads, final 14 nanometer product. AVX 512 instruction set is available. So UHD 750 graphics. Okay, that's our first CPU-Z result there. This is Intel Extreme Tuning Utility. So we can use this to turn off all the limits for our CPU. So it's not overclockable, but we can push these results a bit further. Okay. Okay, we're going to apply these settings here. And so that's what we had. Will we get an improvement, or is it already optimized for us? Not looking like much of an improvement there. But it's not really a fair test right now because we're doing all this. whenever it wants to. Alright, here we go. So I don't have MSI Afterburner and Reaver Tuner installed, so you won't be able to see the overlay here. So you're going to have to take my word on the graphics performance. But it looks like we're nearly done here, so I might just wait for these two to install. They don't take long. Okay. $581 and $41.79. Not too bad. Okay. So what do you reckon? Can it handle it?
10.
20 frames a second on high.
10.
Yeah.
That one's a modified version of Windows, or just Windows Pro
Just Windows Pro, man.
on your own PC.
Yep. All right. Let's get realistic here. Let's put it on low.
10.
Yep.
Bruce wants to know, did you install Quarter? I could have missed it.
No, I installed Hardware Monitor. All right, so this is running now on low here at a locked 40 frames a second. 55 temps. I don't have the temps up on the screen at the moment, but I don't think we're going to be seeing any problem with temps on this build. So Hardware Monitor's logging all our temperatures and so these are our CPU temperatures. It's not really a big deal. I don't think we've even hit 60 degrees. Yeah, that's what I install on everyone's computer. So everyone gets CPU ID, Hardware Monitor, Crystal Disk Mark, Crystal Disk Info, and usually Furmark will be on there in the background. I use it for stress testing. Yeah, they're the main suite of apps that I'll install on everyone's computer. VLC media player. People want a light media player option. Yeah, I can install these benchmarks obviously. So you can't see it here, but it's running between 30 and 60 frames a second here. So right now we're sitting at 40. So you could definitely game on this. This isn't going to be like the end of the world. You just have to turn the settings down because you don't have a graphics card. Which, when you think of it like that, it doesn't really sound too bad. I don't have a graphics card, so I have to turn the settings down. So what? What's that?
Change the settings so I haven't seen it. It's running like you don't have a graphics card. Is it run already?
Yeah, it's already running. It's already running on low. Yeah. Yeah.
That shitty old laptop.
Yeah.
Though mind you, I had every single expansion pack that you could think of.
Yeah. Nah, the fans are really quiet. Like, I've got the microphone here, and so I'm holding it right at the back of the computer, so you can probably just hear the fans. They're not on high or anything. They're on probably around 1,000 RPM. 800 to 1,000, I reckon. So yeah, nothing special. It doesn't need an absolute heap of cooling. We've got a big CPU cooler on it. That will keep it very, very, very cool.
Robert says CPU card, no need for an expensive GPU.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So yeah, on our temperatures there, we're not even getting to 60 degrees on the CPU. So
Can you change the RGB with the front here?
yeah,
Is that- which
yeah, I can do it.
button there?
No. You need to do it
Yeah,
from.
that's what I meant. Like, can you do it from like the
Nah,
front panel?
nah. You need to use RGB Fusion for it. If you press that other button, that's a reset button.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm like, I don't really want to press that, but there's another little like.
What's your favourite colour, Robert?
That's pretty cool.
This is certainly vibrant.
What else is there? Oh, jeez, that's way too much. Slow it down. Rainbow vomit all the way. Oops. Okay.
So So there's this one, and then there's this one. This is more like a classic rainbow, and this one here is like disco. Can't really see it when you turn it. Yeah. That's just the lighting. You can play around with that to your heart's desire. What I really wanted to do was actually put the CPU on under some stress. Oh shit, I don't have. Alrighty. Okay. Now we're putting it to work. And so putting it to work, we can't even seem to really get it over 50 degrees.
Robert says purple.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
I've already closed it. It spikes up there to 50 something degrees, but then it drops back down. So Robert, Intel CPUs are engineered to run up to 100 degrees Celsius. So for these, the numbers we're seeing here is it's basically running ice cold. So, which is good. Won't need the fans to ramp up or anything like that. In fact, we should be able to just go into thermal console, and we should actually be able to run all of our fans on minimum. Smart fan auto. We'll put them on quiet.
Says Pro PC.
Pro PC.
Indeed, my friend.
Okay, so now I turned all the fans onto minimum. So it's nice and quiet. And this is how it's running in terms of temperatures. Oh, we managed to get to 60 degrees now that we turn the fans on to minimum.
Couldn't even hear it before.
Yeah, well, it's even quieter now. Alrighty, well while that's doing that, I'm gonna go over here and I need my BIOS. Oh shit, wrong one. I need my BIOS. Yep.
Bruce wants to know, was the clocks on full load like any dips?
So let's have a look at that. So it looks like it just timed out on the turbo when we looked at it. And now it's running at its stock speed after it's turboed up. But this is the thing, how long's that been running? That's been running for nearly 4 minutes. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, with Firmark going. So it'd be interesting to see. So because we got onboard graphics, so if we stop Firmark, look at that. Jump straight up to 4.2. and now it's probably gonna sustain 4.2 to 4.5. It's like it's going up to 4.6. And temperatures, yeah, there's nothing. We can leave all the fans on minimum for this build thanks to that cooler that's in there. It's doing an adequate job of keeping everything cool. So I'd say we will sustain a very stable 4.2 gigahertz with this on the CPU, and it will drop down to its base frequency if we're hitting the graphics card at maximum as well. So yeah, happy days. So we will get this BIOS flashed up, because here with temps like this, it's gonna fly through my stress test.
So,
Yeah.
Bruce's nice amendment 2966.
Yeah, the memory's even faster, because this is a B560, so the memory it's compatible with XMP profiles. So we're running at 3200 here on this memory, but you could, if you had 3600 megahertz RAM, you could plug that into a B560 and you could get the full speed. As opposed to the B460s where you can't do that. You can only run at whatever the CPU's maximum frequency is. And so it'll use up to half of our RAM for video memory. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, this'll sort Robert out for many years to come. He'll be able to add a graphics card in here in time. He'll be able to update his CPU if he wants. WD True Image is installed. Okay. Put those apps away. And we're gonna restart. We'll just flash that BIOS, and then I think that's pretty much all she wrote. She's ready for collection. So I think Robert's down Brisbane Way on Friday, so he'll come and pick that up.
Yeah.
So we'll just flash this BIOS quickly. Valid BIOS image.
Yeah.
Can't read file. What the fuck?
What did you do?
I don't think it copied to the flash drive.
What? Going on here?
I don't know. I swear I did it though, but obviously not.
Maybe
I don't
tripping
think that
balls.
BIOS that was there, that looked like another, that looked like the one from last night, from the Vision.
Yeah, it did.
Downloads. Yeah, that wasn't the file. That's the file. Oh, the shit opening up. Let's get rid of that crap that opens up with Windows. I hate things that open up automatically.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like that computer that you had, you were fixing, there was so much stuff that was on that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you close that?
Yeah.
Or did you just leave it?
Oh, I probably left it because some people like the things opening up because then they don't have to open them up.
No,
So I don't want to dictate like
what you should do.
yeah. It's PC's about freedom, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't put those custom icons on the desktop because you have to use them. I put them there because it's something that I use to keep my desktop organized. So I don't have like all these random icons from everything that I installed just sitting there. Here's the right BIOS. So it shouldn't be a massive update there. F3 to F4. Couldn't tell you what the difference is. What's up? This will be pretty much all she wrote because yeah, this PC's ready to use. So we'll get it all boxed up and ready to go. And once you do your BIOS update, it will normally revert all of your BIOS settings that you've adjusted back to defaults. So you will have to go back into your BIOS. Usually it's just to turn back on the XMP profile. Alrighty. So once you do a BIOS update, it's like you've just put the PC together for the first time again. Alright, so we'll enable our XMP profile and we will exit out. Go back into Windows. So yeah, that's essentially it. Hang on, we will need to set up our hard drive. We'll do that quickly. And there we go, there is our storage hard drive. And everything in Device Manager is looking good, nothing's erroring. Happy days. Good everything. Yep. Cool. Alright, well, if anyone has any final questions before I sign off, because all that's left to do now is a bit of a Cinebench run on it. And that'll be it. So like I said, if anyone's got any more questions, now's the golden opportunity to fire in before I sign off for the night. It is a very nice, tidy micro ATX build. Yeah.
So, what do you think would be the best fit GPU for this?
I would be happy pairing this with a 3060, a 6700 XT, a 6800, a 3070. Any of those would be fine. Even a 3080 is going to be quite fine. You're getting what, 590 single threaded performance on that, so that's roughly i9 10900K performance in terms of single threaded results. So you're gonna have a good time no matter what graphics card you put with it. It's all ready for it. That's the good thing about these 11th Gen i5s. They've got such good single core performance that it makes them really compelling offers for gaming CPUs, especially if you're on a budget. And so You know, 4650G is great, but it's not as strong a single core CPU as this. So it's about 10% difference, believe it or not. So this one's 10% stronger. So I don't know, I think the graphics probably get made up a little bit on the 4650G, but you know, it is what it is. And I mean, as you can see there, just looking at its performance, it's beating a Ryzen 7 1700X 8-core CPU at multi-thread. So it's beating Ryzen at what Ryzen's meant to be good at. So yeah, a decent little chip for around $300. I would not be unhappy running this. It'd be fine for the games I play. Alrighty. Well, I think that might be it for tonight. No worries, Robert. Well, yeah, this will be all ready for you to pick up on Friday, mate. So, yeah, just whenever you're in town, just give me a call and arrange a time with me, and you can come over and pick it up. I'll have it all boxed up and ready for you to collect tonight. So, alrighty. Well, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.